Hey guys, welcome back. Yo, in this video, I want to talk about something that I really wanted to talk about in earlier this year. But this video, I'm gonna talk about why we left the trucking industry. And for all the new truckers or new semi-truck drivers, CDL owners out there who are thinking about getting their own truck, being an owner operator, or also getting their own authority, please listen to this video before you do any of that. Anyway, let me tell you my story. Um, I've been in the trucking industry. I was in the trucking industry for a little over 3 years. So let me tell you how I got in it. I'm a personal trainer, and I was always training people or working in a gym. During the pandemic, a lot of things changed for a lot of people. Gyms closed, and my work halted altogether. I had a second job, so I was still working my second job at FedEx, and I was an essential worker, so I always had work and I always had money, so it was always good. But at that point, it was a time for us to pivot, to figure out what we were gonna do next. I don't know if you guys remember during that time, there was a lot of different ideas on how to start your own business. Always, all these different help groups, all these different seminars about being entrepreneurs and what business is great for passive income. And one of the big things that used to come up a lot is trucking. You get in the truck as passive income. So the whole scheme of it was buy your truck. Once you buy your truck, all you got to do is find a driver. Once you find a driver, you find an authority for the driver to drive under. You pay the driver, the authority pays you a settlement, and you get your little money on the side. Passive income. Money that you don't have to worry about, but comes every week. Now, it sounds beautiful when you think about it that way. But what happened was we decided to buy a truck. A lot of people around us had trucks, so we were like, let's buy a truck too. The biggest thing that we found out that was the hardest thing to overcome was getting a good driver. Now, getting a driver in the truck was hard at first. But then we started getting our ads on Indeed. We started hiring a lot of drivers for this authority, and they were getting drivers in our truck and moving our truck. So sometimes our truck was moving, sometimes the drivers decided to quit, and we had to find another driver, and that's when our truck stopped. The biggest thing that never stops is the payments for your truck. So we were still on the hook for payments of the truck and paying on the truck, even if we didn't have a driver or if that truck was not moving. So a year went by, and then we decided, hey, we need to find out another way to pivot and make some money off of this truck. We can't find a reliable driver. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get my CDL, and we're gonna get our own authority. We knew all the steps that we needed to get, and we're gonna get our own authority, and we're gonna run our own authority and run our own truck. At that point, we saw dollar signs. We were like, wow, I can't wait till this takes off. I can't wait till we make all these buku bucks and just make thousands and thousands of dollars a week. When we realized how much money it took us to get the truck up and running, just the insurance and the down payment for the insurance was around like $7,000 to $8,000, and then it's $2,000 a month for our brand new insurance. Another thing is, when you have a brand new authority, a lot of companies are not allowed to mess with you because their insurance doesn't cover your new authority. So they'll be like, oh, what, you have to have your authority for at least a year, or you have to have your authority for at least 6 months before you can even get these loads. And we saw all these loads on the load board that we couldn't touch for 6 months. So we were picking up these loads that we could touch, that we could get, and they weren't paying out as much as we were hoping. I was on the road for a long time, and I was really seeing the rates on a normal load would be around $2, depending on where you're at. $2, from $1.50 to $2, and if you are lucky, you will get a $3 load or a $3.25 load, and that's $3 per mile. So it was very hard to make the money as an owner operator. Now, before I got my authority, I started to work for TransAm. And TransAm was, a company that will pick up anybody. If you just got your CDL and you need somewhere to work, TransAm will take you right away. But TransAm is a company that if you're not responsible, you will be overwhelmed, because they're not there to babysit you. They're there to teach you how to drive, teach you how to get on the road, and make money for them. That's it. So TransAm is not one of those companies right after you get out of school and think that they're gonna show you what you got to do on your loads, how to manage your time. No, you have to learn how to manage your time regardless. But it was a good company for me. They paid me every week. I never had a problem with my pay. I only worked with them for 3 weeks because at that time I was in the process of getting my own authority, and I wanted to get some experience, and they hired me right out of school. So I just went with them right out of school to keep on making money with my CDL, because FedEx wasn't gonna pay me for my CDL because I haven't had it long enough. So they were like, you don't have your CDL for more than 6 months, so we can't hire you until you have experience for 2 years. So I had to wait 2 years just to even be able to apply for FedEx. Anyway, go on through the game. We had to, another thing about the trucks is that they break down. Tires were going left and right. My first trip, I went out on my own authority as our own authority. Our first trip, we popped 2 tires. We had to borrow money from friends and family because that's when we were already tapped out. We're thinking we're gonna get our first settlement, and we're gonna be so deep in cash that we're not gonna know what to do with it. So at first we were like asking a lot of friends and family just for seed money, so that when we get out, we won't be stranded on the road. And my parents, they came through in a big way. My mother-in-law, they came through in a big way. All our family just came through in a big way. My sisters, my brothers, everybody. And it was a beautiful thing because we were all working towards getting this truck company going. I wanted all of us to have our own trucks, and we'll just run it under the same company and have our own drivers. And the dream was big. The dream was like, yo, I can't wait for this just to take off. And I don't care what it takes. I'll be on the road for hours, for days. I'll do whatever it takes. But I came to realize that the fantasy of really taking off in the trucking game, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of connections. If you have the right routes, have the right people, have the right dedicated routes, then maybe you could take off really good with the trucking industry. And for us, we were 2 parents. My wife was at home trying to do dispatching. I was on the road trying to push the truck, and it was very hard trying to get ahead of the game when we were just going into our savings, going into our credit, and taking out loans just to keep the truck up and running. And after a year and a half, or almost 2 years, we were tapped out. bankrupt. So, I just started to think about what was the main purpose. The main purpose was to make money. And if I was coming out and doing all of this and we weren't able to make money, it doesn't make sense, So we decided to get out of the trucking game because it was just too hard. It was just too hard to deal with not only IFTA, the IFTA taxes, all the tolls all over the country. You go through a toll booth, you are paying so much money in tolls, so much money in gas. So as an owner operator, this is how we figured out how much we were gonna make in any kind of rate. So if whatever the rate was, it's $1 a mile for gas. So if I was going 3,000 miles away, I would have to get paid at least $2 a mile for that load. And usually a load that goes 3,000 miles, for me, when I saw on the load board, I don't know what you guys might see on the load board now, but for me, when I looked on the load board and I wanted to find a nice long route, depending on where I was coming out of. If I was coming out of Florida, I couldn't get a load out of Florida that was more than $1.50. I would go, and then these loads would be going all the way to either Texas or to New Jersey. And I would be like, yo, I can't afford to go thousands of miles for only 50 cents a mile. So if I'm going 2,000 miles, I'm only making $1,000. That's gonna take me 3 days to get there. And then I have only 2 more days to get loads, because if you don't get a load throughout the week, or if you don't pick up a load on Friday, you're not picking up a load over the weekend. So you have 3 days to make moves, 3 or 4 days to make moves, and you want to pick up a load on a Friday for a long trip to drop off on a Monday. Or if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you might drop off a load on a Thursday or on a Friday and have no loads until Monday. And that's when you're sitting, and it's a pain in the butt when you're sitting because you're not making no money. So that means you have to get like 2 or 3 good loads. For instance, here's how the week goes. Pick up a load on Monday. I drop off, maybe depending on how far it is. If I go to Georgia, I can drop it off the next day, possibly. But most likely, if I pick it up on Monday, I have to make sure I have enough hours of service just to get to my next location. So if I don't have enough hours to drive that day, I'll have to wait the next day to drive. And usually I won't be able to get there and unload that same day. So usually my unload time will be on Wednesday. So Monday to Wednesday, no matter where I go, unless it's a local trip, I'll have to make sure I make good money through that. Then Wednesday to Thursday, hopefully I'm in a good area so that I can pick up a short load that won't cost me that will make me more money, and don't have to go that far. And I can do it within my hours of service. Thursday to Friday is either I get a load on Thursday and drop it off on Friday early, or I'll wait till Friday and get a good load and drop it off on Monday. But most likely, if I get a load on Thursday, I'll drop it off on Friday, but I won't be able to drop it off until later Friday. So that's the hard part. And if you have a good dispatcher, he can possibly get you a load on Saturday, but it's probably not going to be the best load, and you're going to probably have to negotiate or get it as quick as possible and go far. It's a pain in the butt. It was chaotic for me, and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the pressure. We couldn't do all the taxes on our own, all the receipts, everything was so hard to handle it as our own authority with just me and my wife alone. Now, some people, some people who did it, I'm so glad that you're going through it. Let me know how it's going, and let me know how you did it, because I would love to know, because I still have my truck, and I would like to get my truck sold or put it back on the road again, but I'm not driving it, you know. But yeah, that's how it's been. Anyway, what else? If we talked about the taxes, oh, so basically what I would suggest, if you're getting your CDL, this is not all bad. If you're getting your CDL and you don't have a family, it's the best job to have, because you can go and travel the whole country. If you could be patient and just love your surroundings, you can travel the whole country and enjoy it and meet new people all around the country. And that's if you're a single guy. You know, it's a good tool to go out there and make money. You don't even have to have your own apartment. You can just live in your truck for a year, stack up dough, and use that to start your own business, you know? So it's always good to have a plan. But if you have a family and you decided to do it, you want to do something and you want to get a driving job, try to get something local. The job is too hard, not only on your family, but it's gonna be hard on you. And you don't want to be too far away from your family. You know, you want to be around. You don't want to live and die on the road. You know what I mean? It becomes a prison cell. Because I used to think about it as every time I'm on the road, I'm spending another 3 weeks out in places I don't even know and I don't even want to be, you know? So it's something that you really have to think about before you get into, because it's a tough industry. Not only the regulations are very hard for a driver, the road is very difficult for drivers. Snow is very difficult. Rain, traffic, jams, all that. So yeah, so that's why I'm out, man. I'm back with my family doing other things and just trying to make it work, you know, because you gotta make money, but you have to also make sure that you have enough quality time spent on this earth. And you know, the quality time could be working, but my quality time is with my family, and I'm blessed to be in a position that I can be a little bit flexible with my earnings. But I know that I have to continue to strive for the next new thing, you know, continue to work for the next new thing, and to start and to sell this truck. Anyway, yo, I thank you for hanging out. Thank you for viewing this video. And if you like the video, just hit a like and subscribe if you want. But I just wanted to give a closure on what I was doing before, because we're out of that game right now. And if you're about to get into it, make sure that's what you really want to do. Make sure that's what you really want to do. Because driving is a very hard job, but it's beneficial if you make the best of it. All right? Get your atlas, get your travel guide, and get your journals out. Go eat at good eateries. On your 10-hour break, go and have fun on the beach somewhere. You know, it's if you're single and you're out there, enjoy yourself, you know. But it's something that you need to make sure that these companies are not going to pay you everything, and they're going to be very hard on you, and have a lot of regulations on you, and hold you accountable for being on time and on schedule. So those are the things that you have to adapt, and those are the qualities that you're gonna have to start being good at. Your time management has to be good, else you're gonna always have problems out there. Your driving capabilities have to be good, else you're always gonna have pop tires and different issues out there, you know. Maintenance and your checks and everything, make sure you always check out your vehicle before you leave. All right, you don't want to get broken down out there. All right, we're done. 20 minutes and under. All right, thank you for spending that time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, tell the dogs bye. Woof woof. All right, they gone. Peace.